If you're running PyTorch and you're encountering a error that says get was unable to find an engine to execute something, this video is for you. I was working with Google Cloud today. It was honestly an incredibly frustrating experience. Like one of my VMs would not clone public Git repositories, but this was an error that popped up. And I figured it out, but it took me a really long time. So I figured I'd make this to hopefully save some other people some time. So I found this GitHub issue mentioning something that looked incredibly similar to mine. I also had an issue with a convolution. And down here in the comments, somebody mentioned having this LD library path. You can see the CUDA version is quite out of date here. So what you're meant to do actually differs a little bit from what you're seeing here. So what we've got going on is, if I hop over to my VM, I've got a NVIDIA L4, I believe, like a big GPU, a new GPU that should be able to do everything, having this error like, hey, you can't do this operation, which makes no sense at all to me. But you can see, so I've started up like a tmux terminal, and we've got one environment here that has this LD library path. And if I were to go and run like, this like machine learning task. This is NatureLM Audio, which is a fine tune of Llama 8 billion, not Lava 3. Holy shit. This is a fine tune of Llama 3, the 8 billion parameter model. And what's going to happen here is when I have this LD library path inside of like my environment variables, it's literally going to encounter this error. So I'm going to let it spin, and when this error comes up, I'll show you. And as you can see, Get was unable to execute this. So I'm going to stop it real quick. You can see that, yeah, there's a problem here. We're not picking up on that. But let's go into another shell, and let's say let me see if I can. So if I echo my LD library path, you can see I've removed it from this particular shell right here. And now, if I were to go and run it, it's going to work. And I'll let it spin to prove that. But my point is that Google, when they set up their whole like weird, if you go to set up a VM in Google's compute space, you can choose to use their like automatically install all of the CUDA dependencies, literal operating system. Like they got an operating system built to do this, and it gives you some kind of really weird like linker library path, as well as path. But for specifically like newer versions of CUDA 11 and CUDA 12, in my experience, if you literally just delete this LD library path variable, things start working for some reason. Like I don't know why. It's kind of I mean, obviously a lot of this stuff is very complicated, but it's just, I think, a reflection of the overcomplicated dependency hell that Python has become. Like, for example, I mean, UV is a great tool, but it is kind of ridiculous like how balls to the wall we have to go in order to get this stuff to run. Like I have been messing around with this like NatureLM library for like a couple of days now, trying to get it up and running in a way that actually works. And it is painful to experiment with, because you can't I can't build like a Conda environment. I can't install with pip. If I try to install the packages for this library with pip, it blows up and says, I don't even know what I'm looking at. Like these dependencies don't work. And UV resolves it somehow. So it's great that that works, but it's again this thing of like, oh my gosh, nothing. Here you can see it's working now. Like, oh my gosh, wow, the thing I was talking about worked. But it's incredible how version specific things need to be, at least in my experience, in order for them to work with like PyTorch and all of these libraries, like everything has to be like so nailed down to use any of these like projects that you'll find online. So I don't know. I think it's a frustrating experience. Hopefully this is helpful if you need something like this. I'm gonna kill this VM so I stop burning money. And peace. I'm making a postscript because I had an afterthought while editing the video. Why is Google Cloud's website like so heavy? Why is it like, I don't know if anybody else has like an older computer. My computer's a bit old and maybe I'm using Firefox and that's just not optimal for it, but like, oh my god, it's slow as hell. And not only is it slow as hell, but it's doing a lot of things in the background. Like, I don't know, like, obviously it's complex. It's doing a lot of really complicated things under the hood, but it's Google. And it's also not that complicated. Like, it shouldn't be that computationally expensive. It's not like you're doing 3D rendering. You're, like, listening for a lot of events. I don't know. Like, Google's probably going to, like, pick up on this using the AI, and I'm going to get, like, shadow banned from YouTube, but, like, what's up with that?